I want the glasses. Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope that this week's live is going to be much better than last week and that StreamYard treats me well, because last week was very difficult with the Wi-Fi. So I hope this live will be much better. And as I learn and grow, meaning learning how to be a little more tech savvy when it comes to editing live videos, I hope to do better after this live. So if there's any hiccups, I can just edit those out and start with this week's topic. So as you come in, please click the like button. I really appreciate that. It's absolutely free. And don't mind me, I'm putting on a little, this is not chapstick. This is a vegan butter with agave. It has a little hint. Don't know if it's going to show up, but this is what it is. I love this, especially during the winter when it's cold, even though it's not winter yet, but it's very cold here. And I bought this from Amazon. I love it. It says mindful skincare made from plants. And I forgot to put it on before I started the camera, so that's why I'm doing it right now. We're talking about emergency funds. We're talking about saving money. And if you're here and you're in the chat, please post a comment so I know who I'm talking to, because I like this to be a little more casual. One of the things I wanted to talk about as it relates to how we save realistically for an emergency fund or any type of savings is to deal with our mindset. If you have a mindset that is contributing to limiting beliefs, if you have the mindset, well, I can't save because I don't make enough money, or even if you've heard my tips before about saving like a small amount, saving $5 a week, that's too little. I can't save $5. What is that going to do? We have to deconstruct that poverty mindset or that impoverished mindset so that you can get started. Because it's easy to give you just a list of tips on how much to save or where to save or where to start. Since we are talking about the emergency fund, and forgive me if you hear planes because they're going to go back and forth and I can't stop it. All right. But I hope you can hear me over the planes. If you want to save for an emergency fund, I could give you a list and say, you know what, start saving $25 every week. Or list out all of your fixed expenses. That's your rent or mortgage. That's all of your utilities. How much do you regularly pay for groceries? Do you eat out on a regular? Do you have any family traditions that you want to make sure is included in your emergency fund? List all those out, add it up, and start saving that every week. That's easy to say. It's easy to list out. But what happens when there are people who feel like, I can't save because I don't make enough, or I can't save because of whatever the reason is? That's what I want to talk about in that vein, because if you say that you can't save, then you absolutely will not save. If you say that I don't make enough, then you probably aren't making enough. Hey, Desiree. Come in, girl. How are you and how's your day going? I really wanted to touch base on that because I feel like in the very beginning of our journey, which was 2019, September of 2019, we were in the position where we had nothing in our savings. I mean, $30 in our savings account and barely enough to pay bills in our checking account. I did not have all of the different savings accounts that we have now. My husband and I did not have credit card. We didn't have credit cards that we could actually use because I was still in credit card debt. I didn't pay off all the credit cards until February of 2020. So if we had an emergency back then in September of 2019, we had no way of getting out of it. We had no way to pay for it. We just basically were begging to borrow money or to get money from somewhere just to take care of something that we should have been able to take care of easily, right? And at that time, one of us was saying $5 a week saving is not enough. But the reality of that time is we could not afford to not save that $5. So we have to deal with the mindset first. I'm glad you're feeling better, hun. How's Travis doing too? I didn't see any updates on him. I hope he's doing okay. And please let me know if you can hear me clearly, because I see the Wi-Fi symbol keeps popping up. I don't know if I'm coming across um well. Let me see, my head is kind of cut off a little bit. Okay. So, and sleep is good, sleep is important. Um thing help do mindset, and there it is. It's yeah, it can destroy. My screen went black, and I don't know if you can hear or see me. Okay, be real here. I don't know if you talk to like real personal finance people, anyone in the space that gives tips and gives tricks and gives their realistic journey, you have to be fed up with where you are enough that you want to escape it. You want to get out. Wait, I'm reading comments too. He's moving around more and more every day. That's good. That's good. You have to want to say, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to have an emergency pop up that's $100 and I can't even take care of it. I have to end up going to beg for an advance at my job for my paycheck, or I have to go beg a family member or beg a friend. You know, at some point, we've got to stop doing that. We have to say enough is enough, and now I want to be free. Am I still going in? Because I saw it too. The screen went black and then it came back again. I'm real sorry, y'all. I thought I had this under control. So I'm going to keep going, and hopefully I'll do better at editing this video after the live. But let me know if you're watching, what year, when did you start your emergency fund, and how did you get started? We started with $5 every single week. And that didn't seem like it was enough, but it actually worked, because $5 can add up to 100. If you do that consistently, you're going to see increase, you're going to see change. And that's how we got started. And then what happened was I created a budget. I sat down and I looked at all of our bank statements, and I started looking at all the expenses we had. At the time in 2019, we had 2 children in daycare, and the third child, the oldest, was in school. So you have to think about, you need to pay for school lunch. You need to give him a couple dollars just to, get to and from. And then with the little ones, you have to pay for daycare every week, or your children can't go to daycare. How much does it cost? And then I started adding up costs for me. When I would eat out at lunch, I would go out to lunch. I wouldn't carry lunch to work. How much do these things cost? And then, of course, everything else, all the bills, your rent, your electricity, gas, tolls, all those things you add up. And then I created a budget. And once I saw how much was coming in and how much needed to go out, I realized somewhere we have to subtract something, because we were going over. We were over budget a lot. So the first step was to start an automatic savings, transferring $5 every week into that savings account. That was our starter emergency fund. And then creating that budget. So when we created the budget, we could see where we realistically are. How much do we need to pay for bills, and how much do we need for everything else? All the variables, right? Groceries, eating out, daycare expenses, all the things. So when we got there, we could see, when we subtracted all of our expenses from our income, how much is left over. That is the amount we could use to go extra towards our emergency fund, or paying an unexpected bill. Because in the very beginning, we would leave any extra money in our checking account. But then I got on YouTube. I was watching Elena over at the Organized Money, and she had a series. I think it was called Adulting 101. And she broke down how to create sinking funds and how to get use like a half payment method or something like that to get ahead of your bills. And I watched that religiously every day for months. She actually inspired a part of my book that I wrote because I wanted different, right? So when I saw that, then I started opening different savings accounts instead of having a sinking fund in cash, because she wasn't using cash at that time in 2019 when I watched her. She had different one account, I think it was, and then she divided that money into some kind of app she was using at the time. And I said, that's a good idea. So I adopted that concept and I opened two savings accounts with Capital One 360 at the time, because I've been with them for over a decade, and I really almost 2 decades now. And I love how easy it is to open and how easy it is to use. So I opened 2 savings accounts. I opened a Christmas. I started one for just Christmas. I started one for daycare. And I started putting money in every time I got paid. And I have different ways of earning money. So if you have different ways of earning money, like let's say you earn commissions on your job, or you get bonuses on a regular basis, or maybe you do hair, you do nails, you sell jewelry, you babysit, whatever extra money that does not come from your 9-to-5 job or your W-2 income, put that money into a savings account, and you can start seeing it grow from there. Because you should really use your income, your regular income, to pay for all your bills and your groceries and things like that, things that take care of you, and any extra income to go towards those savings. That's another tip. But that's how I got started. Open 2 savings accounts, start putting money in there so I could get ahead of the bills. And I couldn't do $100 every pay period or $200. Sometimes it was $20 or $25. Because I had a budget, right? So if you have a budget, you know how much your income is minus your expenses, then you can see how much is left. And based on what's left, how much can I spend, right? Realistically. And don't be afraid to start with a small amount. Don't, $5 is nothing. $5 is something, because maybe you can start there. And if you were like me years ago, I was at one point, it was just me and my oldest son. And I tell the story openly because people need real stuff. So I'm just going to be honest with you. I was working at a McDonald's, and this was 15 years ago, almost a little less than 15 years, actually, like 12, 13 years ago. I was working at a McDonald's because I worked as a paralegal for a major finance company, and they had layoffs in 2007 and 2009. Everybody was laying off. Sounds kind of like right now, right? So what happened? I was young and having these savings, and what I did, I worked at McDonald's because I needed to work somewhere. I needed to earn income, and that income wasn't a lot. I found one of my pay stubs the other day, $145 or something like $155. And how are you going to survive off of that? Even if you take $2 from that paycheck and put it aside, you start building the habit. Because if where you are right now, if there's not enough to make ends meet, then you have no choice but to save whatever you can to start building. And then you create a budget, because you need to know what's going in and what's going out, what's coming in, that sort of thing. Let me read your comment. I couldn't tell you when I started my emergency fund, but I've had a lot, used a lot, and had a lot again. Glad to have it, and I'm glad to be able to add whatever I can to it, even if it's $1, $100, or $5. Amen. Because whatever you can add to it will make a difference, especially if you continue to do that over time. Some people celebrate your wins too. Celebrate when you get that first $100. I was celebrating too, because remember, when we started in 2019, we had $30 in our savings account, and we had no other accounts but the main check-in. I had a checking and a savings with Capital One 360, but my husband and I hadn't, joined together to start creating new funds for that. We just had a checking and a savings, and we had $30 in the savings and barely nothing in the checking account. And we were paying overdraft fees, we were paying low maintenance fees, all kinds of stuff. once you get that first $100, when I saw it, I was excited. And you get excited because you started. When I started talking to you, I said, we have to deconstruct the poverty mindset. Don't think that, oh, $100, that's nothing. What is that going to do? If you're tired, if you have a car and you're on the road and there's a nail in your tire, or you run into a pothole and you know what I'm saying, something happens, you need money to get that tire replaced. $100 could do that. That could save you a day off of work. You won't have to call out of work if you know what I'm saying, if you didn't need to, or you wouldn't have to miss an important event if you had that money. So don't shun it. That's where I'm saying the mindset is so important, because if you think $100 is nothing, $100, what is that going to do? Every little bit makes a difference. And that's where you have to start. You've got to start with thinking bigger. You have to start thinking better, and you have to stop despising those small things or small amounts, small increments. Start thinking bigger. I can do $2 a week or $2 every paycheck until I get a solid budget. And sometimes it can take 6 months before you really get a good budget. You get a good handle on it. That doesn't mean that it's worthless. It doesn't make a difference, or it won't make you feel good at the end of the month to see, oh, I saved $25 this month, when you've never had that much stay in your account at one point. Because I know we might have had $30 then, but before then it might have been $5. And we had to pay a fee because the savings account balance didn't reach that $300 bank minimum. So can you imagine what that's like? But when you start the habit and you stick to it, and you start seeing, okay, now I have $100, now I have $150, guess what? You're going to start feeling more and more excited about saving, and the fact that you're doing something that some people are not even thinking about, because all they can say is, well, I still got to buy these groceries at the end of the week. I still have to do this. If you don't have a budget, then you won't really know what you're realistically spending. And you put limits on yourself. A budget doesn't limit you. A budget actually frees you up. It gives you the control over your money. You'll start to see what's happening, what's going on. And I lost some people, but I'm sorry. So that's really what I want to talk about. Why is it that when we're starting out, when a lot of people are starting out, you feel like you can't get to where you need to be? Maybe you don't have enough money to put $100 a month right now, but you can work on it. I know so many people who are talented enough to do hair, to do nails, to do makeup. They find ways to make extra income so that they can feed themselves or their children, so that they can get certain things that they want. You can do anything. You can do anything. You can build up your first $1,000. You can save for that car or for that house down payment. You just have to create a mindset that says, I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy of being a better manager of my money. I'm worthy of having enough to not have to rob Peter to pay Paul. I'm worthy enough where I don't have to get a payday loan and be charged an insane amount of interest just so that I can buy groceries this week, or pay my electric bill, or put money on my card note. Like, you are worthy of being carefree and peaceful about your money, what it's doing, where it's going, how it's increasing for you. We have to deconstruct limiting beliefs. I can't save enough because I only make $100 a week. I can't save anything because I owe whatever, $100,000. I don't care what it is. I owe $10,000 on this personal loan and this and that. You still have to put yourself first. When you're on a plane, right? Most people, when you're on a plane, or if you've seen movies, you know what happens when you get on a plane. The stewardess will come and they will show you have to put your mask on first, because if you can't breathe, you can't help the person sitting next to you or in front of you or behind you. You have to breathe first. You have to take care of you first, so that you can take care of the other people that you're. Marcus, And I say that because you can't say, I'm going to pay Bank of America, I'm going to pay Con Edison, or whoever your electricity utility provider is, I'm going to pay American Express, and I'm not going to pay myself. You've got to pay yourself first. You've got to save for yourself. I don't care if it gets to $1. You start saving now where you are. And that is where I was. In 2019, I was so much on fire for getting out of the situation we were in. I started to cry real tears. For women who might watch this video, I know that if you are in a position where you can't buy diapers or wipes, or you don't know how to buy formula, if you apply for food stamps and don't get it because sometimes those people treat you like you're crap, you don't qualify, or they'll prolong the application so you can't get, so now you're frustrated and freaking out. You've got to take care of you first. Put your oxygen mask on first. Say, you know what? I know I owe all these people and I need to pay you because I have to get rid of those debts. I don't want to be a slave to the lender all my life, but I have to put some money aside for me. I've got to save some money so that when there is an issue, when something comes up, when I couldn't afford to buy the diapers, I couldn't afford to buy the formula, I couldn't afford to put gas in, more than like $5 of gas in the car, I'm going to save some money so that later on I don't have this problem. You've got to be so tired of being where you are that I have to save for this emergency. Most people who are living beneath a certain income level, and we're not making like six figures or whatnot, but we are able to save more because we got tired of where we were. We desperately changed our mindset. We started listening to different people who were in a better position than we were, or where we wanted to be. Again, my example in the beginning was listening to the Organized Money, because she was in a position being ahead of her bills. I wanted to be there. So I religiously listened to her whole Adulting 101 series to find out, how do I do this? And that's how you get out. And then you have to make sure you're creating a budget. You're starting automating your savings so that you cannot say, I didn't even try. You have to try. You have to try. Somebody may not show up for you to advocate for you when you're like at the bottom, where like you kind of have to look up to see the bottom. If you've ever been that low, because I've been there, you might look like, my check was only $150 this week. Okay, put $1 aside. Don't be ashamed to put $1 aside. Do what you need to do. And this is realistically, right? This is realistic savings. Don't put that small amount aside. And then don't try to save the world in that first week or first month of you budgeting and of you automating your savings. Give yourself room to grow. Give yourself at least 3 months to see like real changes. But every week check in and say, okay, you know what? I saved $5 this week. Next week I'm shooting for $6. Realistic. I used to take plastic bottles whenever I had plastic bottles, and I would return them at the supermarket or sometimes at gas stations, depending on where you live. You can take them there and you get your few cents back. If you have to take that money to put it in your gas tank or to get on the bus to ride the bus, because that was me, then do that. If that will free up money for you to save more, you have to start where you are. Everybody starts at 0, but you don't have to end at 0. But you can, in between, put your 10 cents, your 25 cents, your 50 cents, your $1, and make it happen that way. That is honest to God truth of how we started. And then if you're making a certain income, Uncle Sam is probably taking a large portion of your income. I mean, you look at your pay stub, you got FICA, you got Social Security, you got Medicare or Medicaid, you got all sorts of taxes coming out. Guess what? Probably by the beginning of the next year, you'll get a large refund. And you know what? You can get your tax refunds done for free. If you don't know, you don't have to pay someone to do it unless you have complicated tax issues. And I'm not a tax advisor. This is not tax advice, but I'm just telling you, there are many states who will offer low income people, or if you're just having a hardship, you can get your taxes done for free. There are many states that do that. Get your tax refund and don't spend it on whatever. Take a portion of that and save it and get ahead that way. We did that in 2020. How are you? In 2020, when we were getting the stimulus, I think it was a regular, I think we were doing it every week, or they were giving like lump sum when they were giving the child tax credit in 2021, I believe. If you get unexpected money like that, especially if it's coming from the government, wherever you live, make sure you take that money and you save it, you pay down debt, and that is really going to increase your savings, especially for emergencies, because again, that's what we're talking about, right? You don't want to be caught out there thinking I'll swipe my credit card to get it. Because I was in a position 2.5 years ago where we didn't even have our credit card to use because I maxed them out and I was in debt, in credit card debt. So if you're in that position, trust me, when you get that unexpected money, I don't care even if it was $10, throw that into the savings. I am good. I am so good. I am hopefully giving you guys some content that you appreciate, and hopefully that will help someone. Because my heart is for people right now who are feeling like life is just hard, recession looming, all these talk about, the markets are down, layoffs all over the place. And someone did mention saving for emergencies, so I wanted to make sure I answer that question. I hope that this is helpful in any way, whether it's just to encourage you and light a fire, because again, I could give you all the tips that pretty much every person in the personal finance space will give you. And I am not a financial advisor, but any financial advisor start to tell you, well, automate your savings, create a budget, possibly start with a zero-based budget, all of those things. But the mindset, it's your mindset that has to really jump on board first. That's the first step. I'm thinking of Monopoly, where like if you land on a certain piece of the board where it says do not pass go, do not collect $200, like you got to go straight to jail. Your mind is basically going to prevent you from moving forward if you think that you can't save, or if you feel like this little bit is not going to help. You've got to get rid of that poverty mindset. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know who might need to hear that, but that's where it has to start. I can save. I am going to build up my emergency fund. I am going to save for that car or for my kids' college education. I am going to save for whatever that goal is. You can do it. You may have to start small, but you can do it. I saw, where is it? Tax refund was like Christmas when I was a kid. I think my parents must have did that too. You get tax refund. It's like, okay, that's paying back your Christmas gifts because you used your credit card. I remember hearing the phone call. I don't know what company it was because I wasn't in their business like that, but some company called to say, are you okay? Because we noticed you've been using your credit card, a lot more. And they probably spent thousands of dollars, which is above their normal credit card usage. And the company called to see if they were okay or if their credit card was stolen. And then as soon as January came, you're hustling to get that refund. So by February or March, you can just pay that off. That's terrible. That was terrible to me. Desiree said, I've always looked at taxes like what? Money throws it into savings. That's how I feel too. And that's hopefully the point that I'm delivering it clearly. Put it away. Don't hoard it, and don't go to Nordstrom. Don't go to Dollar Tree. Don't go to Macy's. Please put it in your savings. Financial fear mongering, the environment is relevant if your financial home is in order. Exactly. We are not in a recession over here. You'll see my budgets and I'll be like, I'll talk to you. We got to cut back. We have to stop this. We have to do that. because we are in control of what's going on over here, right? Not whoever's running for president, not whoever is talking about, oh, buy this investment here. We are in control of what was happening here, right? And I remember when I paid off my last credit card debt in February of 2020, again, 1 month before everything just went like crazy. I had been getting regular bonuses from my job, from the agency where I worked. Sometimes twice or even 3 times a year, there was some type of bonus. There was, if we had a really, really good quarter, that bonus came in. If it was just end of the year, Christmas time, my earring came out, we get a bonus. But every year I was spending it. Every time, at least 3 times a year, we get a bonus, and I was spending mine on what I can't even tell you right now. I don't even know. Catching up on bills because I didn't have a budget and I didn't know where my money was going. Spending money on things like food that you pass out. You eat it, you pass it out, and then it's like, where is it? It's gone. You don't have anything to show for the money. But February of 2020, I said, in the start of that year, I said, no, you know what? I'm going to take that bonus. I'm going to pay off this credit card. I know I probably needed a new pair of shoes. Maybe I needed a new coat, or I wanted to get my hair done a certain way. I wanted to get, the bling nails or something. That year, I said, no, I'm going to take this money and pay off this credit card and see if I can get use of it again. And thankfully, Capital One, please sponsor me because I talk about you all the time. Capital One granted me access. I got back usage of that credit card. And ever since then, I've been slowly paying down the card, only using it for bills and groceries, and then, reestablishing a good credit, right? Because I didn't want to use that. I could get a new wig piece. I could go and get my hair braided, blown out. I could go and get this new bag or these new shoes. I could buy these new clothes, but that wasn't going to help me save more or have a stronger financial plan, if that makes sense. So we have to stop allowing those limiting beliefs to keep us from pushing forward, pushing ahead to save. I don't care. Again, I don't care if it's $5. And if you feel bad, if it hurts you that you can't go to the outlet mall or you can't go shopping at Black Friday because you're taking that bonus from work, you're taking that tax refund to get ahead of your bills or to start your emergency fund, let me tell you, you'll feel so much better after all the hype has calmed down, because it is hype. After Halloween, I'm telling you, they start marketing all the things you should buy. Companies are increasing their prices just to mark them down for Black Friday, and you start buying. If it's not in your budget, if you don't have enough, if you're borrowing to buy these things, or if you're taking from, let's say, those bonuses or whatever, your income, when you don't even have an emergency fund, then you should not be the one buying, just straight up. You should not be buying all the tech stuff, all the fancy things, or the matching pajamas, or the ugly Christmas sweaters, or giving at the Christmas potluck or the Thanksgiving potluck at your job or your kid's school. If you can't afford to do it because you don't have an emergency fund, now is the time to take that bonus, take that tax refund, take that whatever money. Some states are actually sending their residents stimulus, like direct payments or checks in the mail. If you're going to get that unexpected money, put it towards the emergency fund. And that is realistically how we do it. Hey, Chris, I'm so appreciative that you came to my live. That is so sweet. And Chris is amazing. You have such a, just a fun presence on YouTube, on Instagram. Like, I love watching you. I love your excitement when you do your shorts, and all your reels it's fun. So, hey, Chris, this was more, I think this was more like me talking more than me having a conversation back and forth with you guys. But let me know if you like this video by giving it a thumbs up. That thumbs up button is absolutely free. and it will let me know that what I'm sharing is relevant, is helpful, is exciting, and just all the things that are positive. Okay. I don't want anyone, especially women, that's just on my heart, to not have some financial security, especially when it comes to emergency fund and getting ahead of your bills. I was that woman once a long time ago who had to wait for a paycheck to come. And sometimes on Fridays when I would get paid, the check wasn't ready. And then the banks closed. And I had no way to feed my no money in or my drawing plain overhead. They just don't want me to be great. But I was that person, had to go to the check cashing place, and then you pay a fee to get that. And I didn't even get my whole check. So that would put me back. I was that person. And that's the kind of people I'm saying, like, you can do it too. You can put $2, $5, whatever you have to, pay yourself first, put your oxygen mask on first. Because if you don't, you'll always be paying all the utility companies, all the credit card companies. You'll be paying for it, and you won't have anything when there's an emergency. Don't do it like that. Take that few dollars and put it to the side and start thinking more positively. We have to, after we deconstruct that poverty mindset, we're going to reconstruct healthy thinking. We're going to reconstruct grand beliefs about yourself, about your money, about where your life is headed. And I know that seems kind of deep when we're talking about how do we save for emergencies, but it is, because if you get into an emergency, if you run into an issue when life is lifing, okay, you don't want to have to borrow more or go deeper in debt just to get out of those mini emergencies. I want you to start thinking on a bigger scale. I can save. I can make a difference in my family. I can have enough money if I run into an emergency. I can build an adequate emergency fund. I can get ahead of my bills. I can earn more money. I can be smarter with my money. I heard a message that I can't really break down right now because we're almost close to, somebody text me, sorry. I can't get close to trying to tell you exactly what it was about, but in a nutshell, if I lost my train of thought because that distracted me. I am is a very important statement. And I'm going to retract what I said, but I can say I am. I am a good saver. I am a good manager of money. I am able to save an adequate emergency fund. I am able to earn more. I do have creative abilities. I can create more income. I am wealthy. Really start saying those things to yourself and surrounding yourself with people who are in a position where you want to be so you can learn something from them. You have to be able to be fed from someone who's where you want to be or a place where you attain to be. And your circle will change. And I don't say it doesn't necessarily have to be physically around you. It could, again, be on the internet. There are some terrible things out here on the webs, on the Instagrams and the TikToks and all those, but there are some really great things. There are really some great creators. There are some great people who have a message to help others get out of that pit of pitiful, poor thinking. Again, a few of the people that I really started off listening to was One Big Happy Life. I'm going to write them. I'm going to type it here. One Big Happy Life. They're on YouTube. Where'd it go? Okay. I listened to them again. There were some people I listened to religiously for at least a year and a half. I don't watch all of them now because, I'm listening to different people now because I have a different perspective. I've hit some milestones because I listened to them. The Organized Money, which I think most of you probably know. She has lives every Monday. I think she might even be switching it to Tuesdays now. She's on Instagram. I love her message. I still do follow her, mostly for like planning and productivity now, not so much as like getting ahead and whatnot. But she was pivotal. She was someone who I really trusted her. Hey, Gabby, I'm sorry. How are you? I listened to she's not, I don't see her posting anymore, and I'm trying to remember her name. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but her budgeting videos were like an hour long because she went into detail. She went into fine details, and I think she has a background in personal finance, or she works for like a finance company, something like that. Mama's Got a Budget. Okay, Mama's Got a Budget. I loved her too. And she was a single parent. I watched her journey from even up until she bought her house. Again, you have to start where you are. So find some people that you can lean on, even if they're that you can lean on, that you can gain some inspiration from. And I hope you find inspiration here, because that's the aim, right? That's the focus. Girl, I was like, would they wrap up this meeting? I gotta go to Tasha's live. I appreciate you. That's so sweet. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I love them too. And you know, I probably have some more, but I just can't think of the names right now. But yeah, surround yourself with those types of people who are where you want to be, to get that extra encouragement, to help reconstruct a healthy thinking, healthy mindset. You know, you can speak those affirmations and all that, but you've got to make the effort to surround yourself with people who are going to think like you. So you can say, okay, I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. I want to do more than just $5 a week. How can I do more? Start where you are, and then let this type of content start to build up that healthy thinking. So you can start saying, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am strong, I am able to say all the things. That's what I want for, you know, the people who are watching this channel, to know that you can start exactly where you are, and nobody needs to feel like $5 is enough. Don't feel like, you know what, this is good, because I was saving $0 before I started $5 a week. I didn't save anything. So where do I want to be? Do I want to be saving $5 a week, or do I want to be an overdraft $25, $35? Choose your heart. And you don't have to announce it to all your family and friends, like, yeah, I'm saving $5 a week. No. You don't have to. Wait until you get really good at it and consistent with it. And then after the first couple of months, you see, oh man, I saved more than I thought I would. Or I opened up a high yield savings account for the first time, and now I'm seeing that money grow a little bit faster for me. So look how much I saved. And then go to your neighbor or to your brother or your sister and say, you know what? For the first time in a long time, I saved $100. And then if they ask you for money, tell them no. But I can show you how to get your own. I can show you what I did, because then you're paying it forward. You get all the information, you start saving, and then you teach somebody else how to save. And my earring is really embarrassing me. So that's pretty much it, y'all. I was really just, I was going through what I was going to talk about, and that's really how I felt strongly to say we've got to start with the mindset. I could tell you all the tips in the world. I could do a whole PowerPoint presentation. We could do mock budgets and all of that, but if your mindset is not in the position to say I can do this, then it won't happen. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't even ask you what you were eating for lunch today. I have not eaten anything. I still have my coffee that I'm slowly trying to finish, because I've got a lot to do today, and coffee is my mom fuel. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I want to say thank you to everybody I know showed up, at least you guys who commented. You came early. And I love you, my friend. And I'm glad that Travis is doing better. And I'm glad that you're feeling better. Big shout out to Debt Free Dad, who has an amazing channel, like always giving such good, exciting content for all of us people out here, giving all the tea on not just investing, but what's going on in the personal finance space, what crooked things people are doing, just to give us some entertainment, and also talking about very important things like why is the word not coming to me? I don't know. Estate planning, which is extremely important. I've talked about that on the channel before. Debt Free Dad, I really on who is classy and pretty and beautiful from the inside. I've never seen her. I don't know her, but I watch your channel and I just love how she organizes her money, and she has really cute savings challenges and the binders. I go just to see how she sets up her binders, and she does her cash stuff and from side income for regular income, overtime, all of that. I love the creativity. I love the organization. I'm feeling your channel a whole lot and I love it. Marcus, I did shout out you because I'm glad you stopped by. And just because, Chris, if you're still here, before you go, please let me know if you how many hours do you need you get to work at 4,000 hours, because would be we want to help you. And Gabby, who just came back to YouTube but is killing it, is doing amazing. I have liked your channel since I think I first came on YouTube. And I say this all the time, like, you're amazing. From when she used to have a doorbell, that's how long I've been watching Gabby. And she is done just amazing. And I think you just got a promotion, right? Or something, or amazing. I really appreciate you for being here. And oh, I'm seeing your comments now because I need to eat something myself. Shrimp and mixed veggies. You know what? I'm going to the Chinese store to get that afterwards. I really appreciate you guys for showing up. I'm getting ready to sign off because I have a whole bunch. Thank you. Yeah. Tell me if you can, before I close off. How many watch hours do you have? Hold on, y'all. And I'm on live. Okay. Have a good day, Marcus. 300, under 300. Okay. So I'm going to play some of your list again. And if anyone else is here, if you find it in your heart to be so kind to play a couple of playlists for Chris at Budgeting Just Because, please go over. She has a really fun channel. Like, you'll go over there and you'll feel happy because she'll make you laugh. She's saving money. And you know what this is? It's savings challenge time. She's so much fun. All right, so that's it for today. And again, you guys, if you have any type of content that you would like us to talk about, or if you would like for me to share, please leave them in the comments under this video after it goes live. And I will talk to you guys next week. I don't know if we should, next week, Thursday, is Thanksgiving. So I don't know if anybody's going to be like willing to like come on YouTube on Thanksgiving, because I know you're going to be with family or doing other things and traditional things and whatnot. But I may just go live anyway for like a few minutes just to say hey to y'all, because I really like connecting with y'all. So no, if next Thursday a go, or should I pause it, or what do you guys think? All right. And thank you for coming. Remember to mind your money, manage it well, live your lives abundantly, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye, guys.